podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms. Just head on over to anfieldindexpro.com and get started today.
Hi everybody, welcome to the latest edition of the Liverbirds Pod, coming to you on the international break weekend because there's no football to watch. But we've still got plenty to talk around. So welcome again to regular contributors Amy, Kate and Randy. How are you on this fine weekend, ladies?
Hello, I'm doing good. It's nice and sunny here in California.
Fabulous.
Oh.
Like in Norway, Randy.
Well, actually, it wasn't that bad today. I mean, yesterday was cats and dogs and windy and, all the autumn stuff. But today it was actually a bit of sun that you could see a glimmer of the lovely colours outside of the trees here. Not bad, but it's getting cold.
Fantastic. Well, there was sun and rain today here in London, so it's definitely becoming autumnal. So anyway, welcome aboard. We're going to kick off. I know it seems like a little while ago because we've now moved into the international break, but we're going to start off by talking around our last game, which was away to Crystal Palace, which ended up obviously with a 1-0 win, but possibly at a price. So Randy, let me start with you on that. Maybe start with the injuries rather than the result. So we lost both McAllister and Alisson in that game, and it looks like from the reports that Alisson is the more serious of the two.
Yeah, definitely. Because already Maka is back for Argentina. At least he's training. So that looks better. Hopefully he's not going to play. He didn't play the first match and hopefully nothing at all. But at least he's training, so that's a good thing. Alisson, on the other hand, it looks like he's going to miss all the matches until at least after the next national break, which is quite a lot of important matches, I would say. Have you seen our next 10 games? I mean, it's crazy.
And I don't know. I mean, this is his second injury, I think, this season. Mm-hmm. And he also had an injury last season. I mean, I don't know whether it's fair to say that he seems to be getting more injury prone. But he is going to miss a very sort of significant run of games, and we will talk about some of them later. But we're clearly playing, Arsenal and Chelsea and Leipzig and Leverkusen and Aston Villa, Brighton. There's a whole load of games, coming over the next week's important ones. So, I mean, Amy Kate, from our perspective, it's good that we've got a very good number 2 goalkeeper in Quiveen Kelleher. And he's obviously been, maybe it's unfair to say agitating, but he certainly gave an interview saying, he wanted to be playing regularly and he wanted to be, some teams' number 1. So this is like he's putting himself back in the shop window again over the coming weeks.
Yeah, and that's I don't blame them. Let's be honest. It's you understand where he's coming from, but as a fan of him and of our team, it's kind of like, oh, you don't want to see that, because he is so great. And when he steps up for, the cup games, or when Alisson's injured, I mean, he's awesome. He's right up there, and he deserves to be a number one. I just don't want him to be anybody else's number one. And we can't have two number ones. But the other thing that I'm kind of concerned about, because I think, and I actually never did find out for sure, that he was sick, which is why Jaros came on, if I'm saying that correctly. And he did a good job. I can't complain about, the time he spent out there, which wasn't very long. But I mean, yeah. What happens? Does he, because he's been vocal, does he get pushed out and become the number 3? Because he said he wants to be the number 1, and this young kid who we don't know enough about yet, or I don't personally. Maybe you guys do, but I don't really know much about him. So I don't know, but I am confident if he is the one that gets to step up and in Alisson's place, I'm pretty confident about his abilities and the results, and we're going to be competitive, and I don't think we have as much to worry about if he is. But what happens when he does end up leaving and we're in the situation again, because it's bound to happen, and then
we've signed if he does end up going at the end of the season, we've signed the Georgian goalkeeper, 23-year-old, and I'm afraid I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it
Maladashvili? Dashvili?
Yeah. So he's coming next summer. So I guess you could say if Kelleher ends up going, we do have on the face of it a built-in number 2. Obviously, we'll have ambitions to be number 1. I think that it was an illness. I don't think it's anything more serious than that, which is why he wasn't on the bench for the Palace game. Why we had Jaros on there, who, like you say, did very well, and actually last season was on loan at Sturm Graz, and they did the double in the Austrian league. So he's been playing for a team at the top of their respective league, and have got over the line, which can only stand him in good stead in terms of his experience. In terms of the game itself, Randy, it seemed like we were in control of that game for such big swathes, and yet we couldn't seem to find a way to get more than one goal, which was frustrating. Because when it's 1-0, there's all, a fluke, a mistake, a, wonder shot. There's all a chance you end up dropping points. But, how did you see the game panning out, the Palace game overall?
Exactly like that, really. I mean, we were in control for so long. So big part of the game, and it was a lovely first goal with a brilliant assist from Gakpo to Shota, who played his 100th game for us and scored, of course.
Yes,
brilliant. But he alone should have had 2 more. And then Salah had a brilliant assist from Virgil, right on his toe, took it down lovely, and then boom, straight to keeper. I mean, we could have had 3 more goals. So it was a bit annoying, wasn't it? It was like one of those days. Yeah. It was annoying. I think we were more in control than we thought when we watched it. Because when I see it back, it looks better, And their first goal, that was a clear offside. So it wasn't really threatening. But of course, it's. I think it's a long time since. Well, maybe I just can't remember since we felt so anxious towards the end of the game, because we're not used to 1-0s anymore. I think we either it's like 3-4 or 5-0 or crazy goal scoring matches. So that was a bit strange, but I mean, Top of the league, eh?
top of the league. I was going to say, Amy Kate, maybe this is the sort of mark of an Arne Slot team. Is it's about more control and more defensive solidity. So therefore, whilst we as supporters might struggle with it, 1-0, they're quite comfortable with. What do you think?
Well, it was a 4:30 kickoff for me in the morning.
Yeah, of course, because it's a 12:30. Yes, again.
Had a group of us, trying to stay awake. Lots of pots of tea, and we come in, and I was just like, we're kind of half asleep. We're thinking, are they half asleep because the goal? But then it's offsides. We're like, okay, but it felt like they had to get that wake up call, and then like you both have said, they were definitely in control. But I think time will tell. But they're still struggling to finish because there should have been a lot more goals, and there wasn't. And it is nerve wracking to sit with one, just one goal, because you like that cushion to have that security. But at the end of the day, you know what? It wasn't our best game, but it wasn't our worst game, and we won. And 3 points is 3 points. But there's a lot to do. There's a lot of work to do, and there's but it's early days in the season, so I'm just going to be hopeful and hope that these next few games without Allison and that are going to be much more challenging because they're better teams and playing very well. So we need to as well.
They are, and I think we've said over the years that the bigger games, the team seems much more able to arouse itself, for the better expression, and sort of be ready from the off. And talking about that, clearly once we come back after the international break, we come back with a bang. We're at home to Chelsea, who look like they're starting to come together in a sort of quite an effective way under their new manager Maresca, albeit that Forest did a job on them as well, albeit only a draw. And then we play Leipzig in the Champions League, and then we play Arsenal away at the Emirates. So let me start with you, Amy Kate. Then, so just a quick question: what are you expecting at the end of those 3 games? Results wise.
Well, I think I'm going to start with Arsenal. It's away, so I'm a little nervous about that one of all of them. That's the one I think I'm the most nervous about, because it is an away game, and Arsenal is, a pretty good team. But yet, historically, in last several years, they've had their defense is broken down a lot, and hopefully that will be to our favor. What was Leipzig? Champions League, I'm just going to be optimistic. I think we're good. I think we're going to do really well in Champions League. I think that I have a good feeling about that.
Yeah,
I have words, but no, I overall, I'm not too concerned. I think that we've got a great team. Klopp left Slot with a great team, and he's showed that he's a good manager. He's breaking records already. So he's definitely an asset to the club, and I'm excited to see what he can do. So I'm hoping that we do well and win all the games. I'm just the optimist here.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being an optimist. I mean, Randy, if I look at Leipzig's results, so from a league perspective, in the Bundesliga, they're second behind, I think it's Bayern Munich, actually. Yeah. But in the Champions League, they've lost their opening 2 games. Albeit, they played Atletico Madrid, who I think beat them with a last-minute winner in one. And I think that, and I've actually forgotten who the other team was that they played in the Champions League. So they've not had the best start in the Champions League, but they certainly are doing well in the Bundesliga. But I guess I'm also quite interested in terms of your thoughts about the Chelsea game, which is obviously the first one that we come back. The good news is it's the Sunday game, so at least it's not a 12:30 kickoff, just for a change. But Chelsea looked like they're sort of starting to get a bit of sort of form and function as a team over the last few weeks.
I don't need a VPN. I've got nothing to hide. This is what I used to tell myself before I hooked up with LibertyShield.com. Not only is my home internet now fully encrypted, but I can now access all the websites I want, whenever I want, and do so from absolutely anywhere. As a Liverpool fan, I love to know I can now watch every match, regardless of whether it's on UK TV or not. My Liberty Shield VPN makes sure nothing is blocked and guarantees me super fast streaming speed throughout that match. You can get connected right now with their software package, which includes a 48-hour no-obligation free trial and instant access to their apps for Apple, Android, Fire TV, PC, Mac and Android TV. Or go a step further like I have and get one of their pre-configured VPN routers. These small but powerful devices allow you to easily connect every device in your home to VPN, making it the perfect solution for smart TVs, Mac boxes and games consoles. Visit LibertyShield.com today and use coupon code AIVPN25 to get 25% off at checkout.
Yeah. Chelsea are actually looking very good all of a sudden. Although, as you said, they have had some blunders in the league, but you can see how Palmer is looking amazing. I just saw him playing for England now, and he was a shadow of himself. But that's probably because everyone is playing on different places, and that team looked ridiculous. Trent was out on his left back thingy and didn't know where he was until he scored a brilliant free kick, of course. So that's good. He's hopefully full of confidence and will do the same for us against Chelsea. But I think because it's a home game, and I think we have everyone back except from Alisson. I think we're going to be fine in goal. So I think I will expect the 3 points for us there, although they are very good. I'm more worried about the Leipzig game. They're actually a very, very good team. They got like Gertruda, that we was sort of linked to in defence. They got Musa, a Norwegian guy that is brilliant. They got Savi, the guy that played well for Netherlands in the summer. I mean, Baumgartner. They got a whole great team there. So, and they're playing at home. And as you said, they haven't been exactly, and they haven't been that good in Champions League until now. Guess what happens when Liverpool comes to town? So I'm a bit wary about that one. And then Arsenal. Well, not for them, but for our sake. Let's hope Saka and Odegaard is still out. I think Odegaard is on his way back now, though.
Eternal.
Yeah, but they're a good team, and I'm not expecting more than 1 point away at Arsenal at the moment, I must say. So, but if we can do that and not lose in Germany and do a 3-pointer at home for Chelsea, I'll be more than happy.
Okay. Well, I'll be away for the Chelsea game, but I have a ticket for the away game at the Emirates, so I am looking forward to being there for one. Fingers crossed. Anyway, it'll go well the way that we want, but I will at least be there to cheer the boys on. but talking about RB Leipzig, and I focus on the RB rather than Leipzig. We've obviously had the announcement about Jurgen's new role, the head of global world domination by Red Bull.
Yes.
I paraphrase slightly, but the the head of global football or something, starting from January. I don't know what thoughts, Amy Kate.
I don't even know what to make of it. Part of me is like, not surprised that he's not done with football. And I think he'd do a great job. And I wish him well, but I have no stake in Red Bull. I have no beef with them. I'm like, great. But the things that I'm hearing and how upset everybody are, I guess my perspective of it is just like, I don't know what to make of it. So I just don't. But the things that I'm hearing and the things that I'm seeing and how in Germany everybody's so upset and just this is so wrong. And I'm going, he said he'd never coach in England. He's done coaching. It doesn't mean he's going to give up football forever. And I think it's a good opportunity for him. But I'm just kind of gobsmacked with the not well wishes and the people's negativity towards it all. I don't know. I guess I don't know what to make of it all.
Well, I think so. What I understand in terms of the German football model, I think both. I think Wolfsburg and Red Bull, because I think their models, the way they're set up, is that they was felt like they were, trying to, I don't know, game the system slightly in terms of and the sort of overt amount of money that Red Bull was putting in, particularly because obviously you've got, Red Bull, you've got RB Salzburg, you've got RB Leipzig, you've got RB whatever it is in the MLS.
Yeah.
And they've got a couple of others as well. But I guess, and I don't know if you have a view on this, Randy, but obviously their model is about, sort of buying young talent, developing them, and then kind of selling them on for a big profit. And if you look at, we are one of the recipients of that from a Leipzig perspective, in terms of buying Szoboszlai. They obviously sold Olmos to Barcelona. They sold Nkunku to Chelsea. And Salzburg, obviously, a lot of the times you see their players go from Salzburg to Leipzig. And I think so my question to you, Randy, is about, whether you think that it's a model that, Klopp would thrive in. He's talked about, sharing his knowledge, and it's about football development. So I guess that I could sort of see why it might attract him. But from a Germany perspective, I think particularly because of his links with Mainz and Dortmund, I guess I get why why there might be a bit of surprise at him signing up with the Red Bull organisation.
Yeah, I totally get that, because originally, as you said, if it is a fan aid, at least 50%, and both in Dortmund and the other club that he was like a working class place. People were working in factories. There is not like a big global company that owned them. And now suddenly, the Red Bull is a worldwide global company full of money, but they're also investing a lot in developing and doing research and, So for him, I do totally understand that this is very exciting for him. He can have an impact. He can do coaching. He can do his speeches, the way he loves to do them. He can coach people. I'm sure he's brilliant at that. And he can develop football, not just within the walls of Red Bull, but with all their resources.
Yeah.
Develop football on a big scale, because what they do, you see it in Formula One as well. I mean, they and in football they sort of develop and they research and they educate and they do develop all the sports they're involved with. And I do understand why that is attractive to him. But of course, when Dortmund fans go out there and says, Jurgen Klopp is dead to us, it's a bit melodramatic maybe, because but I sort of also know that they can own that. It's for them, it's for the fans on the ground on Dortmund. That's fine. But when you look at the bigger picture, I do really understand him going in for this. It's going to be exciting to him. And he was not really ready for coaching. So that means this is perfect.
He did say, he's not going back on the sidelines. He's not going to be the coach of a actual team. This is about broader football development.
Yeah. So it's not any of that. So I'm absolutely really understanding. And he can travel the world, he still loves doing that. So, and maybe he's looking out for the Germany job in the end. And that is at least 2 years ahead, maybe more. So let's see.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say he does look incredibly more relaxed.
Doesn't he?
Yeah,
healthier. He's enjoying life, and I'm enjoying watching him in his little, videos that he does on Instagram. He's like so cute when he's like, "Hello, goodbye," and it's like you feel like he's talking to you. But I love seeing how happy he is, and he just seems like he's in a better place. But I also think he has so much to give to football. I mean, he does, and I could see how Dortmund fans would be a bit upset. To be fair, I get that, and the whole, Red Bull, they are everywhere, and it, not thrilled to see, New York Red Bull get better, but for perspective of for Klopp himself, I think, say it was somebody else that wasn't Red Bull. Right? What a great thing. He has so much to give. And it's just, I think it'd be really good for the sport to have him still part of it. But I do see the other side too. It's just, I guess I just didn't really think about that so much in the beginning until I saw everything. And I mean, it's mixed emotions, but he's what, 57 now? Right?
Yeah. Something like 657.
Yeah, he's young. Like, so what is he going to do for the rest of his life? Just sit there and go on holiday? He's going to get bored of that. He's a man that's constantly, doing what he loves with football. He was going to come back in some form, and maybe he wants to stay somewhat relevant so that he can go back and take Germany. Maybe that still is on the cards. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. See how it goes, and I don't know. I don't have this negativity towards it like a lot of people do, or some people do.
But I don't think it is a lot of negativity amongst Liverpool fans, though, is it? No. It's more like the Germans.
Yeah. But maybe because I'm not German and I don't know enough about the league, and maybe that's where my lack of knowledge or ignorance to this whole thing and why I'm so shocked because of that. I'm American, and yes, I go to Europe and I'm very involved in the sport, but I don't know everything. So maybe it's just being too far away from it to not really realize or expect that. That's why it's such a shock for me to see how in Germany it was so negative.
Yeah, I think it's it's partly because of his personality, I think, and then the sort of values that he's always talked about, as well as what has been projected on him by other people. And I think, you can kind of get why in Germany why some people might feel like he's sold out a little bit because of the Red Bull organisation. So I do get that. But yeah, from a Liverpool perspective, I'm kind of, you said you wouldn't manage again, and you said you wouldn't manage in the Premier League, and as long as you stick to that, I'm kind of okay, really.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wish him nothing but good things, and he looks like he's living his best life. So, fair play to him. Fair play to him. So, good luck, Jurgen, when you start your new job in January. Hopefully you'll develop some great players for us to buy at a very reasonable price in the future.
Yes. He's undercover for us.
He's probably stepping in. Can I just say he's probably stepping in as well to help his friend Pep, because he doesn't do too well in the other Leipzig, the RB team.
It's interesting, isn't it?
So that's a bit sad. Yeah,
he started off okay, and then it's all got a little bit wobbly, hasn't he? I've seen various memes and things going around, like the first job when he gets to Red Bull is to sack Pep Linders. That's all.
Oh God, I hope that doesn't happen. That'll be
I'm just going to coach it. It's going to be fine.
I don't think it will, because if the things are thinking, I think he'll be sacked before January, so I don't think it will be an issue either way. But I don't think that's part of his remit. I don't think he'll have anything to do with that. So we obviously the WSL is up and running now, and there was a big game today between LFC women and Man City women, which unfortunately didn't go our way. And it pisses me off, because it is like that, the last minute goals just and it's just like Man City all over again. But two things really. So I just wanted to sort of say, I didn't see all of the game because I was sort of out and about. I saw little clips of it, and certainly the last I saw it was 1-1. So Amy Kate, I know you normally manage to see the women's game. So how did we play overall?
Hey guys, it's Eddie Gibbs from Anfield Index here. I hope you're enjoying this podcast, and I'm sorry to call time on the show before it ends. In the current climate, it's tougher than ever before to offer podcasts for free. At Anfield Index, we produce over 75 free shows every month, which I'm confident is unparalleled in the LFC sphere. Whilst we'd love to offer everything for free, the production costs now make this impossible. That said, we don't want to follow the model of other channels and lock all of our content behind a paywall. So what we've decided to do is to continue offering every show for free, but cut that offering to 30 minutes on our longer shows. So to get all of our shows in full and enjoy the best of everything we have to offer, we really hope you'll consider supporting the channel and signing up at anfieldindexpro.com. For about the price of 1 cup of coffee, you'll get every podcast in full with 0 ads. You'll also get access to our LFC VIP community, where you can enjoy live podcasts, engage with our podcasters, and chat with other Reds in real time. So that website again, anfieldindexpro.com. Join today.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.